Hello everyone and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Thursday to you all. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I hope that you're super happy, you're feeling positive, motivated. I truly wish that for you guys. I hope that you're having a great day. Just a reminder that this week we are talking about New Year, same you, new mood. And today, Thursday, we're going to be talking about setbacks or stumbling blocks, not stop signs. But before we jump into the episode, like every other time, I want to encourage you to try out the 5-minute reset. If you're having a hard day, if you feel like you just need to draw a line in the sand and kind of leave anything negative, anything that's kind of dragging you down, causing you troubles behind you and move forward, looking forward to the rest of the day and whatever else comes in that. The 5-minute reset allows you to reset, reboot, restart your day right then and there. You can take the time to take a break from any issues or burdens that are holding you down. Spend some time coming up with any resolutions for any problems or issues that you are currently dealing with. I always encourage everyone to come up with a list of at least 4 things that you are grateful for, big, small, or medium size. Maybe you're grateful that, a new product or a new snack or something that you ordered in the mail finally came in the mail. Believe me, there's so many things like that I'm waiting to come in the mail. Today I got a pillow. Tomorrow I'm hoping I get some protein bars. It's all different things. Maybe you're grateful that you got to have an easy day at work and it wasn't stressful and it wasn't too much and you feel accomplished and you felt like you just were able to power through and get things done. Maybe you're grateful that you got to spend some time with your spouse, your partner, your kid, your friend. And maybe it's been a while since everything's been kind of jumbled, or jumping into the new year can be a lot for people. Or maybe you are grateful that you were able to finally schedule some time to take care of yourself, read a book, take a bath, get some yoga in, actually work out, take care of yourself, which is super important. And it's also something that my husband continuously reminds me that I do not do well. And I am trying to do it. So any myriad of things you can be grateful for, you can be grateful for almost, I would say actually, for anything. It makes the list endless and it's pretty fantastic. So yeah, I encourage you to just think of anything that just really fills your heart with joy. It's really small, really big, and put it on that gratitude list. And last but not least, make sure you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day. Hopefully being able to reflect back on things you're grateful for and really just focus in on positive things. It will help you to feel like you don't need to focus in on the negative as much, and know that focusing more on the positive and the blessings will help you get through those negative times. However, again, happy Thursday. I do hope that you're having a good day today. Like I said at the top of the show, this week we are talking about New Year, same you, new mood. And today, Thursday, we're talking about setbacks are stumbling blocks, not stop signs. So let's jump right in. As the saying goes, if everything were easy in life, it'd be pretty boring, right? I totally believe that. It's like if everything were the same, if you did everything the same without any troubles, without any issues, without any bumps along the way, if everyone were the same, then life would be pretty boring. And I am here to tell you today, that you should view your setbacks as only stumbling blocks and not a total stop sign. Because I feel like a lot of people will encounter stumbling blocks along different, seasons of life, engaged in different experiences and different, goals that they are trying to achieve and things that they are trying to accomplish. And those just come along with that because that's just how life is. That's just how life rolls. But there's so much to gain there that we don't even realize. But a lot of times people will choose to view those stumbling blocks, those setbacks, as things that are like a sign that's like, oh no, you can't do this anymore. You need to stop. You need to give up. And I'm here to tell you that that is not it. Mistakes, failures, setbacks are experiences that we shouldn't always classify as negative, when there is so much to learn and grow from these moments. I talk about it all the time, about how, mistakes and failures, they sound like really super negative words, which if you can actually, decide what connotation those words take on for you. And, it could just be like minor blips on the whole scale if you reviewed your whole life by stepping back and viewing it from a wider perspective. So I encourage you to understand that, mistakes, setbacks, problems, issues, failures, sometimes they can be bigger And sometimes they can be smaller, and sometimes they can meet right in the middle. But honestly, those aren't going to be the major things that define your life. There are definitely some mistakes that will define a part of your life for a little while, but it's not going to define the whole thing, especially if you don't let it. So it's important to realize that it's not going to be the end of the world if you do encounter those things. Those things will just come with life. That's just how life is. And with a new year in the making, there are inevitably going to be some setbacks that come along with changes, new goals, and just muddling through new routines or returning to old routines that you may have taken a break from. And we shouldn't immediately write these things off because these are usually things we cannot avoid. And there are plenty of things we can avoid, but nothing is perfect. And setbacks will come. It's not a negative way of thinking, it's just reality. Those things will come. And because how else are you going to grow and learn besides pushing yourself to do those things? But it's kind of like, how Bob Ross is like happy little accidents. If you make you perceive like a mistake in a painting, but it's just a happy little accident, and you do your best to kind of turn it and mold it and shape it into something for the positive, as opposed to, pointing it out as a blatant mistake or problem or issue, and then only assigning that value to it, only characterizing it in that way. Yes, it might have been something that caused you pain, heartbreak, having to rearrange a whole bunch of things in your life, but if you decided to kind of spin that into something more positive, something more mature, and, just a different perspective of okay, this happened, but, let's just take it for what it is. Let's see if there's anything we can learn here, which generally there always is. And how can I walk away from this experience feeling positive, feeling ready to take on the world again, feeling ready to get back to what I was doing, even if you need a little bit of downtime. Because I understand that some mistakes, some setbacks, some failures, some experiences like those are bigger than others, harder to get over, very dramatic. I am not disputing that there are ones that are harder than others, but I still encourage you to take the time that you need to absorb it and understand what you went through and what that means for you, and then move forward. Use it as kind of like a springboard back into your life, and don't let it just hold you down like it's a rock on your chest and you can't breathe, and it's preventing you from doing anything else and trying to be this voice in your head, this sign that you shouldn't continue, because that's not what it is. There might be things that are more blatant that are trying to make you give up or stop, but either way, whether it's blatant on purpose and whether it's not and you just think it is, it's important for you to not give up on yourself, because honestly, you are the only person that's in control of you, how you think, what you decide to do, how you decide to move forward after those kind of experiences. And all the motivation and inspiration in the world cannot make you make the choice to move forward, to be positive, to use those experiences for the better. But I will be here every day to try to motivate you and inspire you, encourage you till I'm blue in the face, because that is what I desire to do to help you out. But you still have to make the choice. You still have to do the dirty work of actually deciding that you're going to do it, you're going to move through it, you're going to feel those emotions, you're going to, feel that pain, and you are going to experience it, accept it, acknowledge it, do what you need to do to heal, and move forward. That is what you're going to do. I encourage you to accept that and understand that it's for your very best. And I understand, maybe you're like, Sabrina, this isn't for me. This is so hard. It is hard. It's really hard. I never said that any of the advice I ever give is going to be easy. A lot of it will be hard, especially if you're doing it for the first time, second time, third time. Especially when your pride and your ego is hurt, especially if it's embarrassing, especially if you are coming back from ruin and wreckage and trauma. It's going to hurt. But you will become stronger the more that you push forward. I believe it. I truly believe that. So you have to try to remember that. I encourage you to. And hopefully I will become a broken record in that'll be so ingrained into your fantastic, marvelous mindset that you have in your super smart brain that I won't have to continue to be a broken record, but I probably will, because that is my life plan. That is my life plan, to be a broken record of motivation, encouragement, and inspiration for everyone, and how to deal with the emotions and the mental health issues that we all battle. And a lot of us don't want to conquer. A lot of us don't want to deal with it, but we have to. And when we do, become stronger people. I believe it. And I think you believe it too. But yeah, and I would hate for you to go into this new year believing that you can set everything up to be perfect and work out in the best way and not expect something like a stumbling block along the way. Like, I would be, really disappointed in myself if you would, and disappointed in myself for not warning you or not acknowledging that truth of I don't want you to go in blinded. I don't want you to go in and think everything's going to be good just because it's a new year and it feels clean and fresh and brand spanking new. Yeah, I do like that feeling, but I also like that feeling every Monday, every top of the month, and every top of the year. And it makes me feel refreshed. It makes me feel excited. And you can feel those feelings, but do not walk into that being so naive that you think that it's all going to be perfect and fine and beautiful, because it's just not. And it's not. I'm not trying to pass off any negativity here. I want you to be realistic with yourself so that you have the better chance of understanding what's happening and pushing through those times and being able to reflect back at a small minimum amount of what you went through and how far you've come. You can create a graph of how far you have grown over a certain specific period of time. And I think that would be really special. But yeah, I don't want you to go in and think it's going to be perfect, because it's not. But I believe the most important message I want you to know today is that just because there are stumbling blocks doesn't mean you need to stop. This shouldn't signal any desires to give up or believe you can't do something just because you hit a bump in the road. A bump in the road. That's all it is. It might seem like a big bump, a hill, a volcano, mountain. However it's perceived to you, it is still just a bump in the road. Bumps are going to come, and we have to do our best to weather those storms and make it to the other side stronger and better. That should be your goal. And yeah, you might change on your way to the other side if it's something huge and big and dramatic and deep. You might lose something on your way there, journeying to that other side. But that's probably for the better, and it'll change you and it'll mold you into the person that you are destined to become. And I think that's fantastic. And I know it's scary. Believe me, it's scary for me. There are so many mental issues that I'm currently dealing with that prevent me from doing what I want to do. It's hard. I get it, and those are the stumbling blocks that I am trying to take my sledgehammer to and push on through, and we're all going to do it at our own pace. Some will be quicker than others. And sometimes if you're already experienced with that stumbling block, it's much easier to get by after you've already been through it, right? And maybe if you know someone in your life that is going through the same thing, you can offer your advice. Don't tell them what to do, offer advice. But yeah, just understand that, they're going to come. Bumps are going to come. They're going to be there. No matter what road, path you take, they're going to be there. And you can't hide from them. You can't avoid them. At some point, they'll get you. And not in a negative way. They'll just be there. But they will make you stronger and better. And, another thing I wanted to point out is setbacks can also be a clue to let us know what isn't working and what may need to be adjusted. I think this is so fantastic. I feel like a lot of people do not think about setbacks, mistakes, failures, issues as like a signal, a sign, like a bat signal in the sky of hey, just so you know, this isn't working. Let's figure out a way for this to work better. Let's figure out a way to work smarter, stronger. This needs to be fixed, adjusted, changed. And, you might perceive it initially as negative, as terrible, as how am I ever going to get over this, get through this? How am I going to deal with this? But maybe you can just take it as like, okay, well, that didn't work out. Or, this isn't the way to go. Or this isn't the way to tackle this, do this, deal with this. We need to figure out a different way. As opposed to just jumping straight into frustration and anger and disappointment, you want to take a step back, widen your perspective a little bit. Be like, okay, this isn't all about me. This is about this, this, and this. How can we reframe this into multiple different mindsets that will best fit what will help us move forward sooner than later, as soon as we are ready, as soon as our minds are ready. So it's important for you to understand. It could be, these things that we go through are purposeful, different purposes for everyone, though, It's not always the same. It's not always the same. And that's okay. And I think it's really important, though. Just understand, bumps will come. You'll learn something from it. That'll be great. You'll grow through it. It'll give you some tips on what to do or not to do next time. And it definitely contributes to who you are. And I think that's so cool and fantastic. And I also think it gives us another opportunity to teach other people about things that we know, and them teach us things about what they know, and grow and learn from each other and make the world go around. I think it's great. And the last thought I want to leave you with is that by allowing setbacks in your life, you can allow those experiences to break you down and change you for the better. As I've mentioned, I think 4 times already. Sometimes our confidence in what we believe is true needs to be shaken up or shattered so it can be put back together stronger. I believe this. And I'm not necessarily talking about super core beliefs, but even then, sometimes things need to be broken to be put back together in a better way. It looks pretty right now, but that's just an exterior shell. That's just a projection, a desired projection. And it needs to be jumbled up and fixed and put back together in something that's even more beautiful and unique and outstanding and stronger, and able to withhold future shatterings, future shaken ups, and continue to grow, become so almost shatter resistant, right? So I know that might have been I feel like I always leave the hardest things to hear until the end. But yeah, sometimes our confidence in the things that we believe and the things that we are feeling need to be shaken up. It helps us to really figure out if that's how we're feeling, if that's how we believe, if that's what we should be doing. And I'm not saying every single time is going to mean something super dramatic, and I'm not saying every single time it is necessary. Maybe it'll come a little bit and you'll be like, okay, that's fine. Or maybe you will learn how to reaffirm the things that you were believing. It's kind of like a test of okay, well, how attached are you to these core beliefs, these values that you have? You'll see the strength in that too. So I just encourage you, just know that this whole episode was just to encourage you that stumbling blocks are just setbacks, not stop signs. They shouldn't prevent you from continuing to move forward. They shouldn't prevent you from wanting to grow and learn. It shouldn't induce fear or anxiety or stress. Those things might come for sure, but that shouldn't be your initial thought, Don't let it be something, don't let those things prevent you from moving forward, from becoming your best self, from just being awesome. Don't let those things get in your way. Yeah, they're going to kind of try to get in your way, but you just got to find your way around it. And I know you will. Around it, over it, under it, whatever. Break through it. All of those are options. And I just encourage you to understand that you can do it. You can. It's going to be hard at first, but maybe you can find someone that can encourage you in person along the way. And then as you go through it more, it'll become easier and easier. That is my hope for you. But that's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, my name is Sabrina. I appreciate you guys sharing, downloading, listening. You guys are fantastic. My favorite people ever. It's fantastic. So good. Check the description box for notes for the show, where to find me on Instagram, which is now just my personal one. Hit me up there, send me a DM, follow me, come chat, come tell me all the things. I'd love it. Or if you're more comfortable, send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello. I am open to your feedback, your opinions, and your conversations, whatever you want to tell me. But that's it, you guys. And I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to talk about get organized for the year to close down this topic of New Year, same you, new mood. But until then, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.